Okay guys, we're here at Lawson Crescent in our fixture warehouse at Callender Central. This is our COVID year, hence I've got the mask on. Billy's got his mask on, so I think it's safe for me to take mine off so you can hear me properly. But we'll have a video about COVID that we'll film in a day or two's time. I'm here today though to talk to you about how to build the sections of your store. This first one is what we'll call a yellow section. That's because we'll be using the grid with the yellow stickers on the bottom. Later on we'll do a blue section and a green section. That'll come afterwards. This is going to be the first section you build because you're going to end up building 5, 6 or even 7 of these sections. So you won't have found your tools and so forth. But we make that easy for you because in your kit there's a box with a red sticker. And in that box with the red sticker you'll find a number of important things. Cable ties, your knives, your side cutters, some power cords for the bump-in night, some FPOS rolls, some POS rolls, and a couple other bits and pieces. The things that are important to us today are the cable ties. And when I'm using the cable ties, I just take a whole bunch out together. I tie one cable tie around there and I stick them pointy end down inside my pocket. I've got my knife in my back pocket and my side cutters in the other pocket. I keep putting them back there so I don't lose them, so it takes a little less time because I'm not finding them all the time. To do a cable tie, you've got the locking end and the pointy end. If you put the pointy end through the locking end, it'll click and tighten. They're that easy to use. Right, let's get started. This is what we call the build guide. The build guide will be specific to your store type and it will tell you all the things you need to know to build the store. There's a couple of really important pages in it. The first one being this one, which is a map of your store, and it shows that in this section, for instance, there's Lang on one side and World on the other. Further through, you've got instructions on how to use the cable ties, and then importantly, this grid pattern, which I'll be referring to while we're talking about that. But when we think about that plan from above that I said had Lang on one side and World on the other, in a different location on that one, there's a dog section. And on the back of the dog section, there's another section. The first thing to do is to grab hold of these box shelves that look like this and to put your signage into that shelf. This is up the right way, this is up the wrong way. So these wiry bits at the top of the shelf, the solid bit at the bottom. Now if we've got this right, we should be able to slide that in and then grab hold of it here and pull it all the way across. And then back just a little bit to make it look neat and tidy. So that's how you put that one in. That's the first one for this section. And this is the other one. If what I'm doing for you, what I showed you just then doesn't work for you, there's an alternative, and that is to put it in like this, and then just very gently, without creasing it, which is really quite hard to do, feed it in by tucking it, tucking and releasing, tucking and releasing, tucking and releasing, all the way across. So now we have the dogs and the sport. The next thing I need is 2 of these pieces of grid that have the yellow stickers on them. Alright, then I need a fun fellow called Billy to come here and put one hand here, please, mate. This is Billy. Okay, so he's going to put one hand up here and one hand over there, about arm's width apart, the same distance apart as these shells. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the sport one of these, we're going to pop it in here, pushing it past, and then collecting it over here through those holes, and then just making it come down into place. See why I need Billy? Otherwise it's just going to fall down. The second one of these goes in, again, push it past, line it up on the other side, and let it fall into place. So that's a beginning. Billy's going to tie these down for me on the ends with the cable ties. And we also put one here to tie them together. So we're tying them onto the grid and we're tying them together. There is a detailed diagram in your build guide about exactly where to put those cable ties. Now you see this still would fall over if we didn't have Billy holding it. The next thing I'm going to need is a total of 6 of these, which are 4-foot standard shells. Now, they're 4 foot long, which is 1.26 metres, and they're standard. And I know they're standard because I can poke my finger here in 4 spots. If they're low profile, they'll only have 3 spots. These ones are standard ones, and they've got 4 slots. Now, in this shelving, and there's a diagram in the build guide that shows this diagram, okay, there are 2 rows of shelving. One that's towards the back, and one that's towards the front. I'm going to do the back ones first, because it's easier to get to the back ones before you put the front ones in. So taking the shelf and putting it through the hole here, okay, so that it goes, and then finding where it should sit on the other side. Not too hard. Then this one goes down in the middle, putting it through, and then bringing it back to sit in. Now, when we get this exactly up and down straight, it'll just sit back where it needs to sit. The third one goes there and then back again. Again, the diagram will show you exactly where. So we've done the back ones, so the front one shouldn't be too hard. Starting at the bottom, push it past, now that's important, and bring it back. See how easy what that was? If I don't push it past and bring it back, then I've got all this sort of business going on, and it's actually pretty hard to do. So I push it past, line up the other side, and bring it back. Okay? And the final one goes here. Now, Billy, if you walk away, you'll see that's pretty much holding itself up now. Okay? And it comes down to tying these shelves in with cable ties. As Billy ties a few in on this side, just say to you, on the other side, there'll either be 6 or 2 shelves. Look at your diagram here, match them up against your categories, and it'll become self-explanatory which ones have got 6 and which ones have just got 2. Okay? So the cable ties all go in, and then we'll snip them off nice and tight and tidy by going as close to the locking device as we can and just snipping them all off. If I stood here and did them all, it would just be pretty boring for you. So we'll call that done. That's one side of a standard yellow section. The other side is either the same or just has 2 shells at the top. So good luck with building those. If you have any questions, put them on Zendesk or give your sales manager a call. They'll talk you through it. All right? The next video we do, we'll talk about how to put together the blue or planners section. Thanks for your time.